Today we're making a creamy, decadent, umami-packed mushroom bisque. First things first, we're gonna prepare the vegetables. We're gonna chop 1 small onion into small dice. This will be blended later, so it doesn't need to be perfect, but since we are sauteing it, even pieces are best. You're gonna set this aside. Then we're gonna peel and mince 4 cloves of garlic. We'll set that aside as well. We're using fresh thyme here. You could certainly use dried thyme instead, but for the fresh thyme, you wanna strip the soft leaves from the hard woody stems and then finely mince the thyme leaves. For the mushrooms, I'm using a combination of brown cremini mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms from the grocery store, and wild chanterelle mushrooms. We're gonna clean the mushrooms by gently running them under water or giving them a very quick dip in a bowl of water to remove any soil or debris, but they will absorb some of this water. That's okay because we're cooking them for a very long time, so you don't have to worry about it. We're gonna cook off all that water that they absorbed. Slice the mushrooms into relatively even pieces about 1/4 inch thick. Now we're ready to get cooking. Place a medium-large pot on a burner set to medium heat. When it's nice and hot, add a bit of olive oil and butter. Swirl that around and then add the diced onion with a pinch of salt. We're gonna saute the onions until they're fragrant and a bit translucent, which should take about 5 minutes. Next, add the garlic, thyme, and sliced mushrooms along with several additional pinches of salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. Saute this, stirring occasionally for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the moisture from the mushrooms has been released and has evaporated. I like for the mushrooms to also develop a little bit of browning. Then we're gonna add a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar and stir that well. Then remove about 1/4 or 1/3 of the cup of the mushroom mixture and set that aside. We're gonna brown these later to use as a delicious topping on the soup. Sprinkle the arrowroot flour over the remaining mushrooms in the pot and stir to distribute evenly. Then we're gonna add 4 cups of broth along with the bay leaf. I'm using chicken broth here, but vegetable broth will also work. Stir to loosen the mushrooms, then bring this to a boil and reduce it to a high simmer. You should see some bubble activity here. Simmer for about 20 minutes or until the liquid has reduced by about 1/4. Now we're ready to add the first of 2 secret ingredients: cream cheese. I recommend that you add the softened cream cheese to a small bowl with a little bit of the hot broth and stir to combine until smooth. This helps the cream cheese blend better into the soup and also prevents it from getting scorched by the hot soup. Then go ahead and add the cream cheese mixture to the pot and stir well. Now it's time to blend. And don't forget to fish out the bay leaf before you start blending. I'm using an immersion blender here, which is the easiest option, but you can allow this to cool a bit and blend this in a stand blender if that's all you've got. You want to blend this until it's mostly smooth or to your own desired consistency. Your soup is now ready, but we're going to prepare my favorite part, the mushroom topping. In a separate skillet over medium heat, add the reserved mushroom mixture. You can use a little oil if you need to. Saute for about 1 to 2 minutes or until the mushrooms develop a little bit of color and texture. Then stir in 1 teaspoon of soy sauce and immediately remove from the heat. That soy sauce is our secret ingredient number 2. These mushrooms provide a delicious flavor and satisfying texture to the final soup. Spoon the blended mushroom soup into bowls and top with the reserved mushrooms. We're also topping with some finely minced chives and some thinned out yogurt to add a little bit of acidity and visual appeal. You could also use some thinned out sour cream here if you'd prefer. Serve this soup with your favorite crusty bread and enjoy. I would not call this soup a complete meal, but it is perfect as an appetizer. The total cost for this recipe is about $8.21, and while it's not a complete meal, that is a little bit high for an appetizer, but considering that you're getting really rich gourmet flavors, I think that $2 per bowl is a pretty good price. This soup is so rich and creamy and delicious. I really hope you get a chance to try it. I was really excited to share this soup recipe with you because it came out so much better than I expected. And now it's time for the taste test. It is so flavorful, so rich. I mean, if you like mushrooms, this soup is like gonna be your new favorite soup. I love the mushrooms on top that provide a little bit of texture, an additional umami flavor. I love the little drizzle of yogurt, so if you like a little bit of acidity, I would recommend adding that. Thanks as always for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. I can't stop eating it.